You tap your travel card at the gate like you always do. Same station, same time, same routine. And when you check the charge later, it's higher, even though your journey is shorter than it used to be. That's the break in logic. You're traveling less, but paying more. At first, it feels like a mistake. Maybe you missed a tap. Maybe it routed you oddly. You replay the morning in your head. You got off earlier. You walked the last stretch. You even remember feeling pleased about it. Saving time. Saving effort. So why did it cost more? You tell yourself it's a one-off. A glitch. Tomorrow it'll be normal again. It isn't. The next day, the same thing happens. Shorter journey. Same route. Higher charge. Not dramatically higher. Just enough to register when you check. Just enough to make you pause without giving you anything clear to push back against. By the end of the week, the pattern is undeniable. Your commute has shrunk. The cost hasn't. It shows up again when the monthly travel statement comes through. You scroll, expecting the total to be lower. Fewer miles, fewer stops, fewer zones. But the number sits there, stubbornly heavier than before. You didn't upgrade anything. You didn't change your hours. You didn't move further away. If anything, you did the sensible thing. A few weeks earlier, there was a notice posted at the station. New pricing structure. Simplified fares. Fairer for everyone. You glanced at it while walking past. It didn't feel urgent. You weren't changing your route. This wasn't about you, and yet somehow it was. Because the way the cost is calculated has shifted away from distance and toward behavior. Peak and off-peak blur together. Short trips lose their advantage. Flexibility stops being rewarded and starts being priced as convenience. You didn't break a rule. The rule moved. You notice it when you decide to walk part of the way to save money and time. The system doesn't see effort. It sees taps. Incomplete journeys don't get credit. They get rounded up. The charge assumes the most expensive version of what you might have done, not what you actually did. Later, it happens again when you change trains to avoid delays. Same destination, fewer minutes, but a different pattern of taps triggers a higher fare. Not because you traveled further, because you traveled differently. The cost isn't following your journey anymore. It's following the model of it. What makes this frustrating is how reasonable it all sounds on paper. Fares adjusted, zones rebalanced, systems modernized. Each change explained in isolation, spread out across updates you're never meant to read closely. But your commute experience is all of them at once. And unlike shopping or bills you can see, commute costs drain away invisibly. You don't hand anything over. You don't stop at a checkout. The money leaves quietly while you're already late for work. By the time you feel it, the week is over. You start noticing the knock-on effects. You hesitate before stepping out for something small because the return trip feels heavier than it should. You stay put more. You plan less freely, not because the journey is impossible, because it's become unpredictably expensive. Nothing about your travel got worse. The system just stopped rewarding restraint. That's the part that stings. You shortened your journey. You adjusted. You tried to be efficient. And the price didn't follow your behavior. It followed the structure designed around it. The most uncomfortable realization is this. The system doesn't charge you more because you traveled further. It charges you more because you stopped fitting neatly into how it expects people to move. Doing less didn't reduce the cost. It exposed how little the cost was ever tied to what you actually did.